All right, welcome in Aquarians. This is your 2026 yearly forecast. So we are going to dive in and see what is going to happen for you next year, huh? Well, I should say it's not what's going to happen to you, right? We're going to look at potentialities, get some information, advice. Remember, tarot is just a tool, and it's to help us gain awareness, to grow and expand, to spiritually connect. But ultimately, it is to help us navigate this physical experience and also decide, like, hey, maybe there's potentialities, but we can always change them, right? So if there's something that you're like, well, I don't know about that, or maybe I want to do something differently, you definitely have the power and the free will to do that. So this is just to help set you up for success for next year. So next year is going to be an amazing year. We are closing out 2025, which was a year of the snake. You might have heard me talk about that in Chinese astrology. It's also a 9 numerology year, which really is about completion, right? 9 is the last numerology number. So 2026 is the 1. So all the energy is really aligning for new beginnings, starting new, fresh, new energy. We're starting, we're restarting things. We're building new foundations. We're the Fool. We're on a new path. And it is the year of the horse in the Chinese astrology. So that is around liberation, freedom, adventure, expression, what other words? The horse is definitely faster moving energy. So we're really jumping into things. We're excited. We have motivation. We're gaining courage and strength. And we're just out to get the world next year. So with that in the new beginning, I think we're really going to be feeling differently. The key here is about ending an old path and starting a new. Is we really have to close out this old kind of numerological path that we were just on from 1 to 9. We really need to close things out. We really need to, if things aren't serving us anymore, this 2025 was really there to okay, time to become aware, identify what's working, what's not, understanding that when we're holding on to things out of a place of fear or insecurity or a false sense of stability, we need to realize that and make new decisions. And that meant there was a lot of endings this year. A lot of endings, a lot of decisions to make changes in our life, things like that. So the main thing I'm just gonna kind of talk a little bit about is the first half of the year, because there's a lot of big stuff there. And as you know, in the weekly readings, I do talk about the astrology, so you can get more up to date, with the weekly readings. But I just wanted to call out these big things are going to be happening as the beginning of the year unfolds. So January through about beginning of March, this is, the chaos and conflict that we're currently in is going to continue but intensify. But that's really going to be more on the external stage, on the world stage. The advice right now is really how we're dealing with everything right now from a divine perspective is to surrender. The more we try and control, the more we allow the external to impact our internal world, it's just going to create more chaos internally within us, and we're just going to get pulled into the fray. So this is a time to focus on what do you want to align with? Do you want to align with balance, or do you want to align with drama? Do you want to align with just, focusing on your world and aligning with, peace and harmony? Or do you want to align with conflict because, you know, there's a post out there that someone says something that you don't like, right? It's almost like there's a volcano erupting, but we're trying to control it. You just can't control it. You just have to go with the flow, be prepared, and focus on how you can maintain safety, but also how can you, as long as you align with safety and security and like peace and harmony, you're actually reverberating that out into the external world and into the collective. So that's the best way to help. I mean, obviously, if you are that type that is very impassioned and wants to get involved with a cause, definitely do that, but do it in a way that you're actually helping. Because if you're creating chaos and conflict or drama or engaging in aggression, you're not helping the energies shift. So, so first of all, which I'm going to be pulling some cards on, I told you guys I wanted to talk about the Neptune-Saturn conjunction, which is at 0 degrees Aries. So this is literally, this has not literally happened. That exact aspect has not happened in 6,000 years. So this is this is huge. So I'm just kind of looking at my notes here. So this is about this is like restart. This is like a new beginning this isn't like a small new beginning, like, oh, we got a new job. I mean, this is a literally restart of everything in our external world. This is literally rewriting our story, rewriting our world. And this is a reset and restart. So the Saturn piece is about a dissolution of institutions, organizations, a dissolution of anything that we've literally built our foundation on that is not aligned with our karmic harmony, our karmic rebalancing. It isn't supportive of the energy right now and how it's going to help us to expand, to innovate, to be supportive of the broader collective here. And then you have Neptune, which is about disillusionment. This is a little bit about illusory types of energy of, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at, or people that are putting on masks or lying, things like that. So that combo is really clearing and bringing up anything from the surface that isn't true, that isn't real. And it's the moon is highlighting those things, right? It's putting a spotlight on the people, on the organizations, on the government, whatever it is that isn't in the up and up, that isn't in line with integrity, that isn't in alignment with heart frequency. So there's going to be a huge collapse because of that. But for ourselves, this is going to be amazing at creating a new kind of soil that's a lot more powerful and supportive of nurturing our lives and helping us blossom to the person that we are meant to become. So I'm going to start off here. I wanted to talk about that specifically first. The other big thing is Uranus moving into Gemini. That's on April 25th. The whole Neptune-Saturn thing is happening February 20th. I don't know if I called that out, but April 24th is another biggie. Uranus moving into Gemini finally, like for the next 7 years. Uranus is about revolution and really collective liberation and freedom. And then Gemini really revolves around communication, intellect, learning, connection, the mind. So this is about a revolution when it comes to how are we going to think differently? How are we going to speak? How are we going to shift our education system, how we learn, and connect with each other? So this is going to revolutionize this. So this is huge. This hasn't happened. Uranus hasn't been in Gemini since 1949. So just think of that. We were just closing out, World War II, and it was a huge revolution in regards to just life in general across the world. It really created the modern Western kind of idealism, traditions. It created a huge prosperity boom for, especially the US, but a lot of European countries. And we really built upon like a new framework of like, how do we want to live? How do we want to connect? So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be an exciting year. So Aquarius, let's look and see specifically how this is going to impact you. So first I'm going to pull some oracle cards for your general themes for this year. Okay, so we have journey and abundance. That's obviously great, right? So you're on a path of abundance this year. So definitely bringing in more of that. Could be money. It could be connections. It could be love. Whatever you are searching for in your life to make you feel more content and fulfilled. You could also be traveling a lot this year, or moving even specifically into a place. Whatever this journey entails is going to bring more abundance to you. So if you do have opportunities to travel, maybe you even have a job opportunity somewhere else where you need to move, I would definitely, obviously first you want to connect in, right, to your higher self, to your intuition, to feel into it. But I do feel like based on the cards, it is going to bring in something good for you. And then we have growth and contract. Yes, this is going to be a big spiritual year of internal expansion and growth. And this is like karmic growth. This is like learning lessons. This is our awareness is going to open up. We're going to have major, like, the astrology also is talking about major collective, like, awakenings and like quantum leaps in regards to like how we're thinking. We're gonna like have aha moments of like, oh, I'm surprised I didn't see that, but now I really see the truth here. So it definitely is a year of growth. This to me is also growing out of old karmic contracts for you, Aquarius. So any karmic contracts that you're still in, you've definitely, I feel like you have probably already outgrown them and you've probably been aware of this, but in 2026, if you haven't fully, like, you're really going to reach like that tipping point of like, you can't, from a higher soul perspective, it's like it's like you're closing up these contracts. So there could be some relationships that end if they haven't recently ended for you. But to me, this is really about growing out of old contracts and that could be relationships, jobs, environments, locations, friendships, even whatever it is. I do feel like you're growing so exponentially, and a lot of people aren't going to be growing. They're not going to be evolving or even awakening. So, that is, it is a pivotal point on the spiritual journey, especially if you're here to really follow the path of ascension. Everyone is going to face those. If you're on that path, you're going to face those points where there's going to be people that, that your relationships just, you disconnect, you fall apart, you have to walk away from relationships, or whatever it is in your life that just isn't aligning with you anymore. I do feel like these are things that you've been kind of in contract with for a while. So maybe you've been in the same sort of, a career for a long time. And so there's going to be a lot of huge shifts this year, but they're going to end up being positive. All right. So I'm going to first pull some cards around this Neptune-Saturn conjunction to see how this specifically is going to impact you, Aquarians. And again, this is going to happen in February, which is your birthday time. So we have the Ten of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Star and the Hermit. So this is what you're kind of leaving behind here. There's definitely, this conjunction is definitely going to close out some sort of chapter for you. And it is a chapter to me that one has been, for some of you, there's been some like financial constraints, or just you know, putting in work, working at a job, but just like getting paid okay, but you're looking for more, right? For some of you, it's been a period just you haven't felt good in your life. Like there's been some aspect of your life that you just hasn't felt good. There's that feeling out in the cold. So this could be love, relationships. Like this could be, for some of you, this could be like a relationship that really just like has run its course. Again, it's not anything that you need to do. This was just a karmic contract. And like you can tell, because there's not that you're not in love anymore. It's not giving anything to you really. So this is the closure. So that is going to really wrap up in February. But then what's coming in here is healing energy. I also think this hasn't allowed you to fully heal in some aspects of your life, especially if it's karmic or a trauma bond. What that does is just continuously, it's just like you're continuously in the trauma because of the trauma bond. So you haven't really been able to heal these aspects of yourself. And so I think it's really going to start you on this spiritual healing path in February. I think you're really going to focus on your inner world. And this is a huge year of heart expansion, of coming back to our true selves in the heart space. And we have the 2 stars here. So it's really about enlightenment, about looking at what's my northern star, which essentially is your true essence. We always see the northern star as something externally, external from us, or it's always out in the distance. But really, it's a sign to show us that actually our inner star is always within us. And as long as we align with our true selves, that's when we bring in, when we align, that's when we bring in healing, or that's when we bring in our dreams and our desires. So I think this Hermit energy is going to be good for you. It's about really diving into yourself, and that conjunction is really going to ask you to do that. All right, so that's tapping into that aspect in February. Let's just get generally, let's see what's going on this year. All right, so yes, you are the Fool. So this year is the Fool. You are on the Fool's path this year. You are definitely taking a leap of faith, jumping off the cliff. Even if you don't know what the outcome's going to be, this is your year. You're going to start fresh. You're going to leave behind all the trauma, the hurts, the baggage, leaving behind anyone that's trying to pull you into lower frequencies here. And you're feeling ready to do this. The Moon. This has been coming up a lot. So I think that Neptune energy as well, to me, this is leaving behind fears as well. Like maybe you definitely lived in a time of a lot of anxieties and fears, and it's because it's your higher self calling you to your right path. You have not been on the right path, and that's where all this kind of these emotions you've kind of pushed down have been starting to bubble up, and it's time. So it's like the Moon again is shining the light on the things that you need to face. Shine the light on the things that are most important for you to move forward in your life. 7 of Swords and the Knight of Wands. This can also be for some of you walking away, leaving behind old patterns, especially patterns of relationships that were based like the Knight of Wands is like immaturity. This can also be like lying, cheating, stealing type energies as well. Like you don't want to engage in these behaviors anymore. I just feel like you want to create stronger, just like a stronger foundation and new relationships that are based on integrity and honesty. But that needs to come from your true heart space, right? So aligning with people that really, you're like, this is where I'm supposed to be. They fill my cup. They fill my passions, like all those things. So that's kind of like what's going on underneath all of this. So we have Ace of Wands. Yeah, you are feeling impassioned this year. Five of Wands and the Eight of Swords. So there's passionate new energy coming in, passionate new beginnings. I feel like you really are focusing and prioritizing things that really you are passionate about. Five of Wands is conflict and competition. There could be a lot of people that just are vying for your time, for your whatever your offerings, you know, and you could feel a little like, I feel like my hands are tied, like I'm being pulled in many different directions, but I think that's a pattern for you, Aquarius. And I think you need to do, again, going back to like the Hermit's path of like focusing on what really is right for you and finding balance and harmony in your life. If you're worried about like competition, like you're going into some new line of work, or like you have some, you know, you're trying to, and like you're worried about competition, or like, oh, there's a lot of people doing this, there's a lot of saturation in the field or the environment. But ultimately, you, Aquarius, have something that stands out. And as long as you believe in yourself and just continuously, you know, when you're producing something or creating, do it when you feel inspired, because it's when you're inspired, that's when you're getting the highest flow of ideas and energy from the divine. And whatever you're creating out of that, you're going to attract and magnetize the people, the opportunities, all of the things you need to be successful, and ultimately to wealth, if that's what you're looking for. But it's really time to cut the blindfold this year on patterns as well for you. And I think you're going to look at these, the contract card and the Eight of Swords too. They both are wearing blindfolds. So these contracts now, like you're going to finally see them. Before maybe you were in denial or just like weren't ready to cut the cords. But this year you are. Queen of Wands, look at that, double wands, Six of Pentacles, and the Chariot. Yeah, so that's about balance and harmony, especially with time and your physical presence. Like, you know, before there's a lot of conflict here, and it's like, I think you need to really look at what's equitable for you in regards to your energy. Also, like, what am I putting my energy into and what am I getting back from it? But I just feel like you're on fire this year, Aquarius. Like, you are attractive. I feel like you're magnetizing a lot of great things, confidence, and I feel like you're going to be successful in your endeavors this year. And, you know, the Chariot energy. So this is really, I think, if you're going into anything new, things are going to really progress fast for you this year. And I think once you do finally cut any cords to karmic contracts or things that, again, are holding you back, you're just going to take off. And one more here, Ten of Swords, Seven of Cups, and the King of Wands. Ooh, some of you could really be bringing in a divine partner here, your soulmate. And this could be after you end something. So there is something that is ending here, but Aquarians, I don't think you have to skip a beat, because I think something else is going to come in pretty quickly here. You're focused on your dreams and desires this year, and like that's kind of your leading motivation here. It's, you know, it's not about focusing on what everyone else wants and needs. This year is really about you. So I like this, Aquarius. And lastly here, I'm going to pull, I'm going to pull a final, this is an overall oracle. This is the Gaia oracle. So this is going to be a general overarching theme as well and message for 2026 for you. So you got Zen Garden, Inner Sanctuary. And I'm going to read this for you. This is 38. So, life is full of ups and downs, a constant ebb and flow between war and peace. Everything has a positive and negative charge. Harmony and disharmony, order and chaos, clarity and confusion, calm and conflict, all are all partners in our physical world. You cannot have one without the other. Yet, like all of us, you sometimes wish that things could change. Why can't we just live in peace? Well, the answer is that peace is possible, but you can only find it from within. The first step is to accept the world as it is and just let things be. Trust that everything happens for a reason and that there is a higher purpose to all things. Now become aware of your breath. Let it guide you to a place of peace and light, a beautiful garden within the golden chamber of your heart. It is here within your inner sanctuary that you will find the peace you seek. Peace is only possible when there is peace within our hearts. When you are able to find peace in the midst of chaos, then you are a true master. There we go. Look at that, and the chaos and conflict. So, and the mental stuff too, being stuck in your head, Aquarians. I think this is a year to really focus on your inner peace and connecting to your heart space. Because I do really feel like if there is any sort of conflict, internal conflict that you've dealt with, or anxieties or fears, I kind of feel like it has to do with your environment a lot. And also that it's a sign calling you to a higher path, that there's another path that you've been resisting. And this is the year that you are going to align with that path and make the hard decisions to step out of your comfort zones. And that's the theme for a lot of people, is stepping out of comfort zones, cutting ties to things that, again, you know probably need to be cut, and you just haven't really been able to make those, to do it yet. But in the beginning of the year, I say, you know, I feel like, again, especially January through March, maybe even lingering till June, this is going to be the time to like close out these contracts, so that the other 6 months of the year, you can finally align with the things that you're meant to. And definitely feel like there's somewhere you got to be, whether it's, you know, with this new soulmate, whether it's aligning with this new abundant, kind of whatever career path or something. There's definitely some big things for you guys. All right, Aquarians, awesome year for you all. If you're going to join me to the extended, the link is below in the description. We are going to dive into specifically looking at love and romance for you this year and see what's going on, what's going to happen there. And then also get further details on your work and career this year. And then we'll look at some final outcomes to see, when you're standing at the end of the year, what's kind of the outcomes of the year. All right. So definitely join us, or join me. Otherwise, thanks for joining in. Have a great year ahead. Obviously, we'll continue on our path together, and I will continue to help support you in this crazy experience we call life. But also don't forget to like and subscribe. But I will see you in the next reading. Bye for now.